you're a man, whether you're a woman, if you've hurt your partner's feelings, you've hurt their feelings, okay? Hello and welcome back to Everyday Matters with Harry. I'm here to give you lifestyle advice and tips to help you live your dreams, achieve your goals, and become the best version of yourself. Now, if you're new to this channel, please subscribe by clicking the red subscribe button on your right hand side so you can learn more about relationships, personal growth and development, and lifestyle. In today's video, we'll be talking about how to resolve conflicts in relationships. Conflicts are completely inevitable in relationships, and this is because we're all different, okay? We're all different in so many ways, in so many levels. We're different because we're born different, we're different because we're raised differently, we have different belief systems, we have different cultures, we have different religions. Therefore, we are different. Even though they are inevitable in our relationships, if well handled, it can cause couples to get closer together. It can draw couples closer together, and if it's not well handled, it draws couples apart. Okay, so how then do we manage conflict so that it doesn't escalate? How do we manage conflict in our relationship so that one person is not unhappy or both couples are not unhappy? First tip I'm going to talk about as concerns dealing with conflicts in relationship is to understand yourself. So as a couple, you want to understand yourself first and understand your partner. Okay, you want to understand what makes them happy and what makes them sad. So what are the things that you do that makes them sad or makes them upset, and what are the things that you can do to be able to make them happy? Okay, so the first thing is understanding, because if I understand my partner, if I know that doing something will make him angry or make him upset, then I can think of ways of not doing it. I can think of ways to stop that thing that I'm doing that causes him to be upset. Okay, say for instance, there are certain things that I say to him that he doesn't like. Okay, if I know that saying such words would hurt his feeling, then I know that, okay, this is something I need to stop. But if I don't understand him, then I will never be able to take steps to stop those things that I'm doing. The same is applicable to me. So I need to understand myself as well and say, okay, these are the things that I like and these are the things that I don't like, okay? And then I can communicate that thing to my partner. Okay, so first things first, we need to understand each other, understand ourselves individually, understand our partners, and we want to also understand what makes them happy, what makes them tick, what are the things that make them angry, what are the things that make them upset. Okay, so that is the first stage. You also want to understand your differences. So there are some things that you would be different, you have different opinions about, or different belief systems about. You want to understand those things as well. So you have differences and you have similarities. So what are the things that you are similar in, and what are the things that you are different in? Okay, so you want to understand that, and once you're able to do that, like I said, you can then communicate, and communication is the second point I'm going to talk about. Okay, so you want to communicate to your partner those things that you know do not make you happy, because we are not mind reader. Your partner is not a mind reader. Okay, so there's no way they would know if you're upset or whatever it is that you're upset about. Sometimes it can even be confusing, because especially for women, we expect our partners to know that, okay, you should know that this thing is not right, or this thing doesn't make me happy. But they don't know, because they are not mind readers, they're not magicians. The same goes for men as well. Men, women, we're not magicians, so we want to be able to communicate clearly in clear terms what makes us happy and what makes us sad. Okay, so you want to be able to express your feelings honestly, because to the other partner it might be something that's just trivial. Okay, I have issues with my husband sometimes, because when I say something, when he does something to me that makes me angry and makes me upset, and I say it to him, and he'll be like, well, that's nothing. And I'm like, to you it's nothing, but it's me, it's something, and that's why I'm talking about it. If it's nothing to me, then I won't talk about it. So that's something for you to look into. Okay, so we want to talk about it honestly, because to the other person it might just be nothing. Okay, so that's one reason why we need to talk about it honestly. And another thing we want to do is to make sure that we understand. Say for instance, I go to my husband and say, okay, I need to talk to you about this thing, and I say, okay, you know what, I can't talk about it right now. Okay, so we want to understand that, okay, that time might not be the right time, so I want to look for another time that will be more suitable to talk about it. So I have to understand that the timing is not right for it. Okay, so that's really important. And if the person doesn't want to talk about it at that time, we need to have a specific time within 24-48 hours to talk about it. If it is important to you, make sure you find that time to talk about it. Make sure you find that time to talk about it, because if you don't talk about it, what will happen is you sweep it under the carpet, you hold your feelings in yourself, and at the end of the day, you are not happy in the relationship. And there's a popular verse in the Bible that says that it is the little foxes that spoil the vine. So those little things that you think don't matter, okay, I'm not going to talk about it. Before you know it, it begins to build up into bigger and greater things that will lead to huge argument, that will lead to relationship issues escalating. Okay, so we want to deal with the issues. We want to communicate our concerns, our feelings honestly to our partners. We want to do it in a way that they would also understand. So you want to do it creatively. Okay, so don't just say, sometimes we get angry and then we start saying things. We say things without even thinking, you know, and then at the end of the day, we realize that, oh, I shouldn't have said this. Okay, but why have you said those things in the first place? Okay, so we want to make sure that we communicate our feelings in the right way, and it starts by you looking at yourself, looking within you and asking yourself, how does this actually make me feel? What feelings am I actually having as a result of this thing that this person is doing to me? Okay, so you need to first of all be able to identify those feelings, the feelings that you're having. Is it anger? Is it frustration? Are you overwhelmed by what the person is doing? You need to be able to identify those feelings, and once you've been able to identify those feelings, then you can come out and talk about it just the way you feel. And when you talk about your feelings, don't try to blame your partner for the way you're feeling, because you feel that way not by anybody's doing, but by you. Okay, by the story you're telling yourself. That's the reason why you feel that way. Okay, but it can be as a result of what the person is doing. So you want to communicate it the right way and say, you know what, when you do this, this is how I feel, not you make me feel this way. Because nobody can make you feel the way you're feeling. It, like I said, is a story you tell yourself. Okay, so you've done this, and when you do this, this is how I feel. So you want to communicate it in a way that is more receptive, that the person will be able to receive that that thing that you're saying to them and get to understand, like, okay, every time I do this, this is how this person feels. Maybe every time you do this, I feel like you're taking me for granted, or I feel like you're not taking my feelings into account because of this thing that you do. You want to also be humble enough to say sorry. Okay, so whether you're a man, whether you're a woman, if you've hurt your partner's feelings, you've hurt their feelings, okay, you want to be humble enough to say sorry. Some of us, we are right all the time. No matter what somebody says, we're looking for ways to defend ourselves. It's okay, you know what, even though you feel this way, it's not my fault, or maybe it's your fault, or I didn't do anything wrong. Some people just can't say sorry. And I always say, for me to say sorry, it's very easy for me to say sorry. So once my husband comes and say, okay, you've done this, you've done that. Just like last night, we were talking about an issue, and he said, and I said something I shouldn't have said. Okay, or I said something and he read a different meaning to it. I'm like, okay, that's not what I mean. And he says, oh no, but that's what you said. Okay, so what he's trying to say is, this is how you made me feel by what you said. But he kept saying, this is what you said, this is what you said. I'm like, no, that's not what I mean. I mean something else. But he kept going on. I'm like, you know what, I'm sorry I said it. You know, I'm sorry it came out that way. I'm sorry you feel that way. I'll try and look for a better word next time to say it. And I said sorry, but he still came on and said, I think because the sorry was just too easy to come out from me, you know. But that's the point. So if someone has said, okay, you hurt my feelings, then what you want to do is, first of all, say, I'm sorry you feel that way, before you start thinking of how to bring your point forward, or why you said what you said, or why you did what you did. First of all, I am sorry. And I'm sorry goes a long way to calm the waters. It does calm the waters a lot. Okay, so first of all, be humble enough to say I'm sorry. Some of us are right all the time, and I can be that way as well sometimes. If I have my opinion, I can say, okay, you know what, this is how I feel about it, or this is how I see it. But it's okay for us to have different opinions about something, and we can both be right at the same time. You know, but let's not be right all the time. Let's not be right all the time. Okay, sometimes you just want to accept your mistake and say, you know what, I'm sorry, I said what I said, I'm sorry it came across that way, that's not what I meant. Okay, so let's be able to say sorry, be humble enough to say sorry, and don't be right all the time. Final point I'm going to talk about today is counsel. Okay, so you want to seek counsel. Okay, I'm not saying seek counsel for every conflict or every misunderstanding that you have with your spouse, but then there are some times that you've talked about this issue, you've communicated your feelings honestly, you've tried to say, okay, this is how I feel, you've tried to do everything you can, you've said sorry, or the other person has said sorry, but you keep having the same issue over and over and over again. Then at that point, it's time for you to seek counsel. Okay, so I'm not saying that you should bring in third party. I know I did a video about the role of third party in your relationships a while ago. Okay, and we said in that video that you can only bring in third party when you can't resolve your issues within yourself. Okay, and it does help. It goes a long way to help your relationship when you bring third party in, because sometimes the conflict has so escalated that there's nothing you can do. The only other option is maybe the relationship breaks down, or maybe if you're a married couple, the marriage ends in a divorce, or maybe the relationship just completely breaks down and you're living in the same house, you're not talking to each other, you're not happy with each other. Then at that point, what you want to do is seek third parties advice. Okay, and it could be professional advice, so you can go to a counselor, a therapist, someone that will talk to the both of you and say, okay, this is the issue, this is how I feel, this is how I feel, okay, let's talk about it, and then you can resolve it and look for a way out. It can be someone that's so close to me, maybe my friend that I love, that I trust, I can go to them, or my husband can go to his friend that he trusts. Sometimes it can be maybe older couples, people that have gone through marriage or that have been in marriage for a long time. They've got the wisdom, they've got the ideas, they've got the experience. Okay, so we might want to go to people like that for advice. Okay, so it's really important that we don't allow our conflicts to escalate. And like I said, conflicts would always happen in relationships because we are humans. We're born differently. We're different in so many levels. You won't believe. We're different in the way we think. We're different in the way we were born, the way we were raised up. Our belief system, especially our belief systems, are completely different. So we'll definitely have conflict, we'll definitely have clashes, but let's not allow those conflicts to escalate. Let's not allow those conflicts to lead to the breakup of our marriage or the breakdown of our marriage or our relationships. So we want to look for ways to resolve conflict. So these are just a few tips from me today on how to resolve conflicts in relationships. Okay, I hope these tips have been helpful. If they have, please give this video a thumbs up. Leave your comments in the comment section, and if you know of any other tips that we can use to resolve conflict that I haven't mentioned in this video, please leave them in the comment section. Don't forget to share this video with your friends and family, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. But thank you so much for watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.